Hello and welcome to Caching Waves. This is your Elliott Wave update for Solana. Now on the daily, still looking for this third of the third to finish up around 144 at this point of breakdown, but there are options for extensions if something plays out the way I'm going to show you. I'm just down on the 4 hour. We're going to be focusing on this 5 waves in blue, which is our third wave in green. We need this to complete our 5 waves in green. You can see we're getting pretty close to those targets around 140, and I want to show you the options of how we go even higher. So right now I was expecting this fourth wave to potentially be done and come down between $60 and $87. But there is a way we don't even come down here, and this wave is not actually complete, and we actually move our third over before expecting that retracement, in which case I'd have to re-pull all the fibs for our targets. Let's go down to the 1 hour and I'll show you that option. So first, I was looking for this move to play out if our third wave in blue was complete. Let me bring that back. Like so, down into my target box. We technically ticked through it, as you can see, right around 87. But it's not enough time to be considered a correction to correct this entire wave. It's just not enough time, even though we've ticked in that area. Compared to our wave 2, we're looking something for similar in time as that. So it leads me to the possibility that this wave might not be completed, which does make some sense. If you remember last video, if you watched, this is the only way I could count this fifth wave, and I really hate it because this wave 2 in time compared to this one, how short the retracement was to this wave. So how I was able to change that count and still get higher upside for this to make sense was a ending diagonal here. And that would now become an ABC, makes more sense. We've come back between the 50 and the 618, ticked through that of this wave 1 of this fifth of the third, once we move that over. Other reason for that is this can still be in play. This is our move to the downside, our A wave and our B wave. But we'd have to come above 112.19 to be a flat. That would be where we'd expect 5 waves down rather than 3. Or we'd expect this to turn into some sort of triangle, just drift sideways, and then make a 3-wave move to the downside as a WXY. But because this is recovered so quickly, we're at the 618 already, I have to consider the alternative that this could be a ending diagonal. So keep that in mind. That can still happen where we drop to the downside. But if we do, we should have some time to reconsider the options unless we just drop from here and this whole correction isn't done yet. Make some sort of ending diagonal. Sorry, I'm not trying to overcomplicate things. You just have to be aware of all the options, because I'm personally going to trade this to the upside. I think there's enough potential to consider it not done, especially in everything else in the market. I see a lot of things needing one more wave. So the way I would count this is in ending diagonals, we look for zigzag patterns. We can have a single zigzag, double zigzag, triple zigzag, something of that nature. They have to be zigzag patterns though, to the upside. Corrections in between can be anything, can't be a triangle on our wave 2 of your zigzag. So keeping that in mind, I was trying to figure out how this correction makes sense. Obviously this is a 3-wave, so that's an ABC. That's 1 zigzag. This area was a little bit confusing, but if we go pull from our A wave there, or W wave, extend that out, As long as we don't break above 108.64 here, and we just make a quick little 3 or 5 wave move to the downside here, then this is considered a flat, like so. This is a correction in itself right here. And then we can move to the upside in another zigzag, ABC, ABC, right? Double zigzag to the upside. And depending where this correction ends, so I pulled the pivots from this high, and wherever this correction ends, if we just double tap there, you can see we kind of line up. There's the 1.236, 1.618. We kind of line up right at our target there of the extension. So we get something like this. We get an A, B, C, something like this, and then get our correction down for our fourth wave. But I'm not going to give this one a lot of room. I'm not going to sit through that triangle action. So I'm playing this as a running flat correction for that possibility of the ending diagonal. So how I'm playing this now is a running flat only. So my expectations for this is we're going to find a pivot between the 618 and the 1-to-1 extension of this W wave or A wave. Won't know which one it is until we see if we get 3 or 5 here. So we'll move this out to proper area. There we go. So is this an ABC or a WXY? We won't know till the end if we get 3 or 5. But that's the zone I'm looking to buy for that pivot and looking for another zigzag to the upside. So I'm going to look which targets are closer here, 102.83. So it's going to be linear scale. And my stop on this trade setup is at this low. And you hear me talk about when I enter trade setups, what I'm saying here is the only pattern I'm allowing to happen here is either I have it labeled wrong and it's maybe a leading diagonal here and I have a series of 1-2s to the upside, or this is a running flat only. And if it's not, I'm probably going to lose this trade, because this could, you can label this where we need to make more room to the downside if it's still in some sort of ending diagonal, where this is our first wave in an ending diagonal to the downside. Or we could come down here, come back up, etc. But I'm playing it this way to get the largest position size in this trade setup. So I'm going to put my buy at 103.15 and my stop at this low, one tick below, at 95.20. My risk is $100 for the channel account. I started with a $10,000 account, so I risk $100 per trade, 1%. And this is going to be my setup right here. And I will be targeting that area up here. So it should get a nice little 3-to-1 on the setup, and potentially higher depending what pans out. So that's my trade up on Solana. Please keep in mind, don't get upset if this doesn't work out. I know people tend to think Elliott Wave should read the future. That's not what it does. It just gives you good trade setups like I'm showing you now. I'm not saying this is going to happen. I'm saying it's an option potentially, and it looks like the evidence points that this is the probability to me at the moment. All right, so I'm going to put that entry in now on my exchange, and make sure to subscribe if you want updates. Hit the bell if you want them right away. Thanks for watching.